How am I feeling underneath the buzz, underneath the morning stuff, underneath the little bit of chaos getting online? And just let a few words come. Awesome. Awesome. Just taking note of those couple of words. We're going to just ask one level more specific. How am I feeling about my business and the commitment that I just made yesterday? I'm stepping into something new. So how am I feeling about that? What do you notice in your body about that? Just let a couple more words come. Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Feels good to have a little bit more time for check-in today. So I'd love for you to just share a couple of words of how you're feeling today and how you're feeling about your business. No judgment, not a time to impress each other. Just share with us what what you noticed. And what was I going to say? Yeah, we'll just have about a minute each to check in. And yeah, just thanking yourself, thanking your body for sharing whatever it shared here. All right. So who wants to check in first? Ashley.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm on. Okay. I just feel really, in general, I just came back from the Luro convention. So I just have a lot of energy. But still the ball of energy that came back from convention was just really big. So yesterday I felt really like applies to me. So it was the same energy kind of thing, a lot of motivation, and just ideas like I feel like that I can run with, because I was kind of like standing still for a little bit, letting that issue kind of take over me. So I feel like I'm running. I feel like I am headed somewhere. I got things to do, like, check-ins. So
Cool.
feeling really pumped about that, because I am like I would go to school until I died, like college. I love college. But I think one of the things that works is because like I know what I have to do. Like there's a task and I do it.
Yes.
So I have to get to a point personally. I've kind of figured this out too. I have to get to this point personally where I can make those tasks for myself and have like checkpoints. Because
Yeah.
when there's nothing to like check in and accomplish, and there's just like these big strides, there's a gap for me in between.
Yeah.
I feel like after yesterday, I have check-in points. I have things go to and complete, and go to another one and complete. And I feel like I really need to always keep me moving.
That's awesome, Ashley. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good feeling. Cool. Linda, you ready to check in?
Sure. So I feel a little like I'm still connecting back into the real world. And so it was good yesterday. What really, really helped me was that mission statement and what I really believe in. That was huge for me because, growing up in corporate, a mission statement's so much different. And I've been fighting and fighting and fighting that.
Wow.
And yeah, so just that in itself felt very anchoring for me.
Love
It's
it.
like, okay, I have this launching point finally that ties everything together. That is me. And that's huge.
Huge.
Yeah. So grounding is what I need right now. So that's good.
Awesome. Great. Great. Thank you. How about you, Amber? Oh, you're muted. Okay.
Okay. Today I'm feeling physically kind of toxic because I made some poor lifestyle choices over the weekend. Just ate like cruddy things that I know don't make me feel wonderful. So I'm just feeling that today in my body, but emotionally I'm feeling very optimistic, about what the universe is going to unroll for me today. I don't know, it just works for me like a big Persian carpet, like, what's in there? I don't even know. But I know it's big, and there's something great probably. Well, I have no idea what it is. Okay, unroll that rug. Okay, so, and about the assignment that I got yesterday, I'm feeling like really curious about that, and I've sort of been tweaking it a little bit. I think I was thinking about it all night in my sleep because now I have some new ideas. Waking up and focusing on it consciously. I'm like, okay, well, I definitely also want to talk to the people who have chosen to work with me and why, right? Like that's gold. And I see those people anyway, so I'm just going to ask them. Yeah, and I'm just feeling really open to the information. I still feel like a little bit of that feeling when you like want to ask somebody to do something with you, whatever, a date or whatever. Dates are just a vague memory in my mind at this point, but still I ask people, do you want to do the X, Y, or Z, right? And they might say, no, I'm busy, or I don't like that band, or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And so I still have that feeling a little bit around, what if they say something that's terrible? They probably won't, but, I have a little bit of that.
Right. Good awareness just to feel that little twinge. Yeah. Awesome. Linda?
Amber, possible challenge, should you choose to take it, from the consultant side of me, just talking to some of the clients that you've had that didn't come back and just learn. I think you'll find it's not about you, that it's about their lifestyle choices and things they're not willing to face, or whatever that information is, good, bad, otherwise, it's still good information to have. Mm-hmm. So not just picking people that are your clients, which you absolutely should do, picking some that didn't come back and just talking to them as an observer, keeping the emotion out of it.
Right.
And that's going to be hard.
Sure. I mean, I'm also planning on talking to people who like, whatever, aren't even thinking about working with me, which is
Right. Which is
the
good.
safe. That's the least threatening. That
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
You've got your set of people. That's a nice little gamut there.
Yeah.
Good. Cool. Well, let us jump in here to some content. You guys are all just in a great place for this, I feel like. And we are going to definitely have time for a cool activity that some of you have done before, but it's time to do again. And I don't think, Ashley, you've done this one. So I'm excited about that. And just to share my own check-in, because I did that too, I am feeling about my next level of business, like the phrase I got, which is weird, but it's like it was spill my guts in this really good feeling way. It was like, I don't know if that's about the art or about like finally getting this information out, like in a recorded type of way, but that feeling of like, I'm going to get to express something that needs to get expressed. So just had to give that give that a little voice because it was a really powerful feeling. Yeah, so if you got a chance to print out your worksheets, we're talking about owning both your shadows. And the shadow that is the most well-known is, of course, your dark shadow, or the part of you that, is maybe even you would call it the saboteur, the part that's just kind of out there and there's not enough light on it. And so sometimes it sneaks up on you and takes you down or takes you out of the game for a few minutes, few days, few weeks, few years, whatever it does. That's the dark shadow, and the one that we're really familiar with when we talk about shadow work, bringing to light the less desirable parts of yourself. So we're going to touch on that because it's an important one to not let it derail you. But the one that we're going to spend the most time on is what I call the light shadow, which is all of the amazing stuff about you that is still a bit in the shadow. You're not quite aware of it. Maybe you don't see it. Other people see it more than you see it. And it's these amazing things. I think, Ashley, you were talking about this yesterday. You said, I just want to know, like, what is it when people say they like me or they love watching me or they get so much from me? Like, what is that they're getting? To me, that is a note in my mind like, oh, she's got a light shadow. Other people see it. She doesn't see it. So that's the part that if you can own that more and step into that more and claim it more, you can really move yourself forward and just step into the light, step into all this great stuff that we are committed to. Sound good? Okay. So let's dive in first to the darker stuff just to get it on the table. Let's bring it to the light already. So I listed out these flavors of fear on your worksheet. I don't know where these 6 flavors of fear originally came from. I heard them from Rachel Jane. They were super helpful to me when I heard them, so I wanted to pass them on. But I'm not sure whose work this is, just to be totally honest with you. But they're basically 6 categories of fear. I've kind of broken them out into 3 major chunks, but 6 types of fear and the way that fear can show up where you wouldn't necessarily call it fear. And believe me, there are no judgments on this. I have been around the block with these. I have had all 6 of these flare up, but you basically have your favorite 1 or 2 that keep coming up. So as I describe them, just check in, like, which way do I like to do fear? And can I bring that out into the shadow? And I put that picture of the cop right there on your worksheet. I hope that made it onto the one. Do you guys have a picture of a cop right there? Okay, cool. Sometimes I'm not sure which version I upload, but I kind of think of these types of fears as like the cops coming on the scene. You know, when you get to be doing anything different than the norm, the cops might show up. Now, it could be like, you know, you're doing something wrong, right? Cops show up. But even when you're just having a big like block party, or you're having a big peace riot, or, you know, whatever, like peaceful gathering, even if it's something really, really great, the cops might show up, and you want to be prepared to address the cops, because they're just worried about like keeping everything safe and containment, right? Which is what we know our fears are there for. They're just like, okay, you can do this awesome thing. You can have this amazing, you know, magic show, or this incredible speaker come to town, or do this wild stunt. But I just want to make sure the rest of the city is going to be safe, you know? So we want to have our permits in place to be like, no, we're doing everything. It's going to be okay. You know, I'm just having a peak moment here, and it's going to be, your city's going to be safe. So I like to think of these things as the cops, and I like to address them. Okay. So the first two are like negative words, basically. And one of these is one of mine. So negative thoughts are negative words inside your head. They're running across your head, and you can hear yourself say things like, well, who are you to do this? You know, you're not cut out for this. This is going to suck. You're never going to get this done on time. It's not going to be right. Not going to be perfect. And that is one of my two. It's probably my second one, but it's definitely one of my two. Or you might hear external words. You might have other people, someone in your life saying, you know, this is not going to work out for you. I don't know. This seems risky. You know, that's a negative words coming from outside. And if you believe that you are generating your world in any way, that you're the creator of your universe, you might take a break from one or the other, right? Like I might get sick of hearing it in my own head, and I might put those words in someone else's mouth to come to me, right? So they're just the same thing. They're negative words happening. And you know what I find is that I usually have about the same amount of negative thoughts in my head, but sometimes I hear every single one of them. When I'm feeling insecure, I hear it. I just hear it. When I'm feeling great, I'm feeling really confident, those negative thoughts are running, but I just don't, like, they're muffled. They're far away. I don't really hear them. And that's my personal experience of my internal negative thoughts. That might be the same thing is true with external negative statements. If you're just not in that place, someone might be saying it and you're just like, whatever. But sometimes they're saying it, zing, and it gets you. Okay, so that could be a type of fear showing up. The next one is like pain, the next little section. So is it more emotional pain or physical pain that comes up? Emotional usually feels a lot more internal. Depression, don't want to get out of bed, irritable, angry, that kind of thing just kind of flares up. I don't know if you guys have read Eckhart Tolle, but he talks about the pain body, like the emotional pain body, right? And you just feel this like sadness. I definitely have this one sometimes. It's not one of my two, but I totally have it sometimes. Or physical pain. Like you get stressed, you get a migraine. You get stressed, you get a cold. Now, I do have that one when I'm very, very stressed or tired. I don't get sick that often, but eventually I'll get sick. It's still not one of my two, but I still deal with it. And I don't think he would mind me sharing this with you. This is Justin's, big time. He gets stressed, he gets sick. It's just, and physical pain can flare up. So, and this is actually Rachel James. She totally wouldn't mind me sharing this with you. She's got back problems. And when she gets scared, when she's getting ready to go to the next level, her back goes out. She has to be very mindful of her back all the time. Very mindful. It's a very, very attentive cop, right? That's kind of coming in being like, wait. And she's got to just constantly keep in communication with that cop, with her back pain. Okay, so I'm not saying that all negative thoughts or all emotional and physical flare-ups are about fear. You just want to check in. Is this a fear coming up? And it doesn't mean that if it is a fear, you just brush it aside and you're like, oh, that's just fear. Who cares, right? No, you still are in communication with that part. But you're not necessarily going to just say, oh, this is a sign I shouldn't do it. Or, oh, this is something I need to address. And so I'm going to take my eye off the ball of my mission. And I'm just going to do my emotional pain today. I'm just going to do my physical pain today. I can usually, when this comes up for me, I can usually be doing my emotional pain and be doing my mission in some small way. Even if it's just make one step forward with my mission, right? You're nodding along, yes? So just looking at those in a different way. And then the last two, feeling distracted, detached, want to escape, just kind of having this internal, like restless, something's not right feeling, letting my mind get distracted with lots of different things. I definitely have that, but my main one is family situations, other people's chaos that I then decide that it's my chaos. And I don't have enough drama in my life, so I'm going to go fix your life, or I'm going to somehow get sucked into your life. So mine is family situations arise. And by family, I mean that could be friends. Mostly for me, it's been a lot about friends. But also my family, as I shared yesterday, has a very chaotic childcare center that they run. And so when I'm not completely on my mission, guess who gets called to be a sub at the family business? Yep, still get those calls, And when I'm not right on my mission, I'm like, well, okay, and somehow it seems like when I'm doing my thing, like they energetically get it, that I'm kind of off limits. They don't call me that much. Now, I'm not saying that I don't respond if my family needs me. Again, I probably will do that in some way, but I do not let it completely take my focus. I still take steps forward for me, even as I'm addressing the family situation. So one way that, Justin and I have colluded to keep ourselves in fear sometimes is like, if he gets sick and then I'm going to take care of him, right? That could be a really nasty dynamic that could take us out, so he's got to be managing his physical, I'll call it physical fear. And I've got to be managing my caretaker fear. And we've just got to be aware of that. And again, not that I'm not going to take care of him. I probably will take care of what I need to take care of when he's got a migraine or something like that. But I'm not going to let it take me off my mission. So see how we could really get into trouble with that? With two people and you've both got your pain bodies? Or we could be on it. And now we're on it. Now we know, okay, got a little too stressed there. And now I'm doing my fear pattern. And this is a shadow and I'm not going to let it surprise me anymore. So how's this hitting you? Let's do a little bit of a check-in here. What are you seeing? Do you know what yours are? Does this make sense? Have you seen this in other people? I'm going to unmute everybody real quick, and you can. Linda?
So I have them all.
Yeah.
Just every one of them. Yeah. The one that I think takes me out of my business though is the detached one. I call it going into my cave.
Yeah.
And part of that, I think for me, is just if I get too overwhelmed, that empathic part of me has to detach in some way to reset. It's like my reset. And it could take a couple hours, or it could take a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And I've learned that if I try to power through that, if I try to ignore it and power through it, it will bite me in the ass in every other way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the point of being able to pull yourself out of that.
Yeah.
And I actually have like a support group that's like, if you don't hear from me, you need to pull me out of my cave.
Nice. That's really great. And I definitely agree that you can't just like say, well, I'm not doing that because that's just fear. You know,
Right.
not powering through or like chopping that off is usually not going to work. So just doing both, like, hey, I'm going to be in my cave, or hey, I'm feeling a little distracted,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I'm going to bounce back. I'll be coming back to this.
Yeah.
So,
and trying to take that time, it's like, okay, if I need to go internal and use it still to help with the business or help personally or wherever that is, don't just completely check out,
yeah.
but use it in a different way. It's like the quiet time.
Yeah.
That I tend to not give.
Love that. Love that. Using it and turning it around to something that can propel your business forward. Yeah. And not just because it's like, we must go forward at any cost.
Yeah.
You know? It's because, look, this is part of the path. And so here I am. I might as well do something that I want to do instead of letting this take me over.
Yeah. And I realized that the pace changes, and that is just part of it, that I have to allow that pace and that focus to change for a while to come back better afterwards.
Really, really great. Yes. Cool. Other reflections? How's this feeling? Does it feel good to have some names for the fear? Or what's that? Ashley, you're unmuted.
I always have a lot of the negative words and phrases and emotional pain.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that I just was never like super in tune with my body. Like I didn't have a lot of problems. I wouldn't feel into what I was feeling. Like I thought that it was more like my heart and soul kind of thing. So I didn't really pay attention to my body. Like this last year with growth and stuff, I've definitely like experienced more things where like I was even like I had my son when I was 17 and just kind of like took care of that, didn't have a lot of drama. And so I was like probably like 25 before I ever felt even like that feeling of like when your blood boils under your skin kind of deal. I mean, I just didn't have a lot of physical stuff.
Mm.
And I this last year I've been trying to be more in tune to it, like to see if there is things. And there definitely are you know, like sometimes when like since I have the emotional pain and negative words, like sometimes I'll feel more like there's a brick on my chest, or like, you know, like it just feels like my body feels heavier and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
I just explained all of that because I guess The physical stuff, probably not really. I just don't have a lot of issues with it. But the emotional and negative phrases, they creep in pretty often.
Would you say more internally or externally, the negative phrases?
Oh, like I'm either hearing it or it's in myself. Like 75-25 more inside of my own head.
Okay, yeah.
Just from like whatever, like thinking, sometimes I think that like people are looking at me like this and they're really not. Like it's, some of them are just, they can be checked off by myself. Like just stop believing that, like quit. Like don't listen to that voice.
Stop it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Oh, sorry, what was that?
You're not welcome. Go away. Get out of here.
Yeah. Yes, thank you. It's so nice to just one of the things that this did for me, and I'm hearing it as you talk, is like if I can see the ones that I have and the ones that I don't have, that means that other people have some and don't have other ones. So if I look at someone who doesn't have one that I really have, and I'm like, they don't have any fear.
In that, yeah.
Well, they do have the fear. They just don't have it maybe in the way that you have it. So it's a way to just like stop beating yourself up for having fear. Everybody has fear. It's just which flavor.
Yeah.
And everyone has to learn to relate to their fear and have this back and forth communication between them and the cop, them and the cop, them and their boundary, right? Their like previous boundary that now they're growing and expanding beyond. And they just got to get, that in check. So really, really great awareness of what you do and what you don't deal with. Awesome. Amber, any reflections for us so far?
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Sorry. Yeah, number 5 is my biggie. The internal chaos, the disconnect. That one, we've got a long and intense history together. The second one is the physical. And that one will get me even when I am connected and I haven't disconnected, like, okay, I know what this is. I'm 100% aware of why I'm somaticizing this state of distress. But, sometimes it still happens.
Still doing it. Yeah, right. It's still going to happen. And it's not, you're not doing anything wrong, It's just to get it on the table and be like, I know exactly what this is. And of course that's going to come. And it's no longer going to be a sneak attack. So I'm just going to account for it as much as I can, take care of this, take care of myself, take care of what I need to do, take care of whatever I can, given that this is going to happen. And hey, someday it might not happen. Someday, 100 years from now. But that's not really what I'm going to plan on. I'm going to plan on it happening. I'm going to treat it like planning for the weather, right? It's probably going to rain if you're if you're out in rainy season, right? Just prepare for it. It's okay.
Yeah, for me, the only thing that I've really found that works when I go into whatever these states is just radical self-kindness. To just treat myself the way that I would, I was working with a 5-year-old who was brokenhearted or whatever, like that level of kindness and patience is the only thing that really works for me. Maybe for anybody. I don't know. I can't talk about the world, but I can talk about me for sure.
Well said. So beautiful. Radical self-kindness. Absolutely. Absolutely. And these really are a sign that you're on the right path, that you're growing, that you're, moving through your previous edges, Yeah, so that's exactly right. I had a day, I think it was last Monday actually, because it was the fifth Monday of the month. So I don't have any clients because I have all my clients on second and fourth and first and third. Didn't have the shortcut, didn't have Toastmasters, didn't have anything structured. And I had a ton to do that day, like a ton of like tasks. And I just couldn't get myself to the computer. I just could find everything else to do. And I'm not even sure if I made it to the computer that day, but there was a moment during that day where I was like, I'm going to stop whipping myself to get to the computer already. You know, I'm just going to stop. And it felt like when you said radical self-kindness, it felt like that. It was like, just say it's okay. Just give yourself a break here. You know, like Linda said, like just let yourself be where you are. And then suddenly my day was great. It was like, oh, this is a 31st of the month, you know, it's like a free day and it's okay. And I like I said, I don't know if I made it to the computer or not, but I had a good last half of the day. No matter what, it moved me forward. Okay, so great. Thank you for the reflection on that. Thank you for getting it, and hopefully this can help. For me, when I figured out my top two, it was also easier for me to recognize when it wasn't those two as well, when I did do something else on the list. So I could still recognize it as fear instead of like fact or truth, right? So yeah, just watch yourself all over that map. Okay, let's talk about some old mindsets and some new mindsets, because we've covered a lot of this already today, but I want to fill in these blanks for you because these can be some powerful mindset shifts. So, old mindset, I have certain weaknesses that keep me from success. my weakness, you know, I have weaknesses, so therefore I can't have success. Yeah. Sorry. Everybody has weaknesses. That is old. We're kicking that out. It's not a good excuse anymore. A great new mindset is, I am good buddies with my quirks. I get myself. I'm good buddies with my quirks, and they no longer catch me off guard. Like we said, like, this is not a sneak attack anymore, people. It's not a surprise. So just see it coming 10 miles away. If you've got a pattern that's just like ruining things, the good news is it's a pattern. You can count on it. So just count on it and just account for it. What's a good example of this for me here? Okay. The best example of this is probably in my personal relationships, which goes along with my 6 as family situations. I was having this huge problem with one of my friends, and she just like wasn't listening to me. She was railroading the conversation, blah, blah, blah. And I was telling my sister about it, complaining to my sister, probably for the 500th time. And she said those words to me. She said, well, at least it's not, at least she's predictable, right? And I was like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like so shocked every time that she does this, you know? And she's like, well, she's being really consistent about it. So sure enough, like I was able to anticipate what she was going to say or do. And I was able to pre-think about how I would respond. And I was able to change that pattern the very next time it happened. She started doing her thing. She always did. And I don't remember exactly what I said to her, but I put a boundary up and I said, you know what, we need to do this right now. we need to talk about this. After we're done with that, we can talk about what you want to talk about. But we really need to do this first. And I wish I could remember the whole situation, but it didn't catch me off guard anymore. My ability to, my people pleaser or whatever other pattern I was doing that was making it so she was doing her pattern, you can just preemptive strike. You can pre-think and not let your weaknesses get you down. Okay. So you might think about something that you can, now you can see it coming. You can see it coming. Okay, let's move on here for timing. Old mindset. My weaknesses are a liability. Man, I wish I didn't have these weaknesses. I wish I was just all strengths. Superman with no kryptonite. I was just playing cards with Justin yesterday, and right after our class, we went out, we played cards, and he goes, "You can deal me the 10 cards I need to win, just in my hand, And I was like, "Honey, where's the fun in that?" And he was like, "Okay, you can deal me 9 cards that I need, and then 1 card will be the one that I draw and pick up, and then I'll win." I'm like, "Where's your sense of adventure? Come on, you want to play this game, right?" He's like, "Oh, okay, blah, blah." But, that's what I think we want sometimes. It's just like, just give me all strengths, no weaknesses, no liabilities, nothing. But really, a better mindset, I think, is that my weaknesses ensure that I don't go it alone. That I don't try to do this all alone. That I get other people involved. That I have puzzles to solve. And it's at least a little bit interesting along the way. I don't have every answer, so I get to learn. Like Ashley was saying, she would want to go to college her whole life long. Well, you can't do that if you already know everything. So have that little empty bowl, beginner's mind of Buddhism, and allow yourself to be filled in. Allow the gaps to be filled in. Allow the team to come together, the path to come together. My weaknesses ensure that I don't go it alone. I have to reach out. Just like Superman, if he didn't have that kryptonite, it would just be a bunch of comic books just about Superman. No one else would get to do anything cool. Just Superman the whole time. Superman does this, Superman does that, Superman does this. But he has that Achilles heel. So other people get to fill in some gaps for him and be part of his story. And other people get to be the hero sometimes. That's super awesome. Okay. All right. So now is the big transition point where we move from the darker shadow to the light shadow. Because we've got all this great stuff about us that we can own a little bit more too. So an old mindset is that I wish I could be a bit more fill in the blank like that person. So this is your own blank to fill in. So what do you wish you could be a bit more of? And I don't mean like wishing your weaknesses away, but I mean like, what is some trait that you admire? A quality that you're like, yes, I really want to be more of this. Like if I was wishing my weaknesses away, I might be like, oh man, I wish I could be more detail oriented because I just hate that I'm so hating details, blah, blah, blah. That's like really heavy. But when I think about what I want to be more of, I'm like, whoa, I wish I could be a lot more like honest in the moment. Like say my piece in the moment, let the chips fall. That's something I long for. I want to be more of that. I'm a little still too people pleasy and have to be positive. So I'm giving you some moments here to fill in the blank there.
Amanda, you just nailed mine.
Okay, great. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could just be really open and honest in this powerful way that's like, just clear, but yet it's has a bit more edge to it than I'm allowing myself to have. Like, that's something I aspire to, not just to shore up my weaknesses, but that's something I really aspire to. Okay, so you ready for the new mindset? If I can see it, I must be it. I probably should have put, I must already be it. That if you are feeling that aspirational feeling, that draw, that admiration, if you're feeling that, it means it's inside of you. It's getting ready to come out. It needs to be brought to the light, brought to the table. It's time. It's time. And it's really only a matter of time. You can take a long time for this to happen. You can take a short time, but it's coming. So hold on to that, Linda, because we're really going to work with that in our second hour here. Yeah. Okay. And same thing with that last mindset. Hey, Cynthia, look at you, right on time. Good job. We're just wrapping up our final mindset from the worksheets. If you have a second to print those out.
Yes.
Okay, great. So the old mindset is, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Whatever this path is that I've been trying to make it happen, I've been having this vision and seeing forward, and maybe I'm just like, it's just not for me. Well, the truth behind that one is, you created that path. You created that vision. And you are going to create the perfect path for you. That path that you see right now is not set in stone and you have to walk down it. That's not what's happening here. What's happening is you're laying the next stone in the path at every moment. So if you decide you don't really want it to go over here, you can just build it in this direction. There's nobody telling you what you have to be or what you have to do. You are creating the perfect path for you, which is going to fit you. If you are creating it, it will fit you. If it starts to not fit, that's not because you are wrong. You're going to adjust the path so it fits you. Okay, so I am creating the perfect path for me or the perfect career for me. And I don't have to be anything but me to get what I want. I want a business that fits me. So I'm never going to not, does this make sense? Like, I'm never going to not live up to the person I need to be in my business. I'm going to make my business fit what I want to do, who I want to be. Cynthia.
This reminds me of what you briefly said yesterday about not being a victim. Like, if I created this path and then I act like a victim, like, oh, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Right. I just suddenly got like, oh, like big victim mentality.
Yeah. So this is one thing that spurred the shortcut, actually, is that, Jeff and I, both of us, but I'll use my own experience, but, I'm looking out and I'm like, all these business coaches are creating these six-figure income, make $1 million in your business, all those kind of programs. And I'm like, I don't know. Up until then, I haven't made $100,000 a year in my business. I don't know if I'm cut out for that. And I was like, Well, wait a minute. I don't even care about making $100,000 in my business. I like to get paid for what I love to do. That's what I'm really, really good at. I can spend every moment doing what I love to do because I know how to get paid for what I love to do. So that's why we created the shortcut of full-time income, serving clients you love. So I'm not trying to be this thing that I don't even know if it matters to me or it fits to me. But what I know matters to me is making a full-time income, spending my full time doing what I love. And I don't have to live up to someone else's number or something else. Certainly not right now. So I'm going to create the program that I actually want to teach. You're going to create the class you actually want to put on. You don't have to do anything. Not a victim of your own vision. Is that feeling good? Okay. So our exercise today is going to be about that light shadow. So that third mindset down. Something you aspire to, a quality that you aspire to. So going to page 2. And the way we're going to just get some options on the table here and generate some juice around this is to write down 3 business people that you admire. Just write their names down first so we can get a really concrete picture.
So Amanda, are these people that we actually know, people that we have done workshops with, people we don't know and read about?
Any of those. Could be someone like Brennan Burchard. I feel like I know him, but really all I have is my own experience of him, right? Or could be Oprah. Someone that that has some piece that you want, some cool quality that you would like to embody, or what is the word I'm looking for? They're a model for you. They're an example for you. Okay, and then feel free to go on to that second step. What are some of the qualities in these business people that you admire? Why do you like them so much? And they don't have to be overlapping. Like, you can just consider one and write down some qualities, and the second one might be totally different. Just give me a thumbs up when you feel like you've got a good list. Okay. Okay. Yes, yes. Ashley, list, yes? Okay. Great. So now we're going to pick one. We're going to pick one of these because these are the things you can see in other people that you are ready to start embodying yourself. And again, this is not about covering for a weakness of yours or trying to, wish it away. This is about what you aspire to be. So take a look at the qualities here and see if there's one that you know is in you somewhere. You know it's a part of you. And right now, it's a light shadow. It's in the shadows, and you're going to bring it to the light and start owning it and claiming it and living it a bit more. You got it? So you're going to write it as an I am statement. Okay? I am graceful under pressure. Or I am honest about the tough stuff. Or whatever it is for you. Okay. You got your I am? Okay. So what we're going to do with these statements is just take about 10 or 15 minutes. Let's do 10. We'll do 10 minutes. And I'm going to break you into pairs. So we're going to go into the breakout rooms. And you're just going to say your statement to your buddy like 10, 20 times. And your buddy is going to witness how it becomes more and more true for you. It's going to drop more and more into your body. Okay? And when your buddy feels like, wow, you are really owning that at a new level. It might not be the deepest level ever, but it's going to be at a new level. When you're really owning that, they're going to nod their head big and say, you are that. You are that. Okay? But let the speaker buddy say it 10, 20 times. I mean, a lot. Let's just let him say it a lot. And until it really starts to sink in at a new level. Okay? and then you're going to switch. So you've got 3 to 5 minutes each here. Any questions about that before we jump into breakout rooms? I think most of you have done this before. Okay, and I'm doing it automatically, so I'm not sure who the partners will be, but you'll get the perfect partner for you. Okay, so just click to go to your breakout rooms, and I'll bring you back in. Hi, guys. Well, we got a lot of smiles on your faces. That's cool. So, we just have a couple minutes here to chat about how that goes. Then we'll just open it wide open for some Q&A about anything you want. So, yeah, how'd it go?
Good.
Good? Thumbs up? Thumbs up? Who were the pairs? I can't remember. I saw them, but who were the pairs?
Surprisingly, it was Cynthia and me again.
Oh, how funny! You guys were
It's
partners.
just
Oh my gosh, that's funny. And Amber and Ashley. Okay, cool. So does
I mean,
what?
oh, this was almost more powerful. This is crazy to say. I felt this was more powerful over Zoom than standing in person in front of someone.
Wow, why
I
did
don't know
that
why,
in? How interesting. I don't know if there's something about it being in your house or your own space, or I don't know.
yeah.
Amazing. So how did it go? Did you get to your next level of owning that?
Are you asking all of us?
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah, that was kind of interesting. At the end of it, I'm like, well, yeah, maybe I already am that.
Wow. At the end, and you weren't thinking that at the beginning? Excuse me.
Not so much. Not so much at the beginning. I was like, oh, here are all the reasons I'm not that.
Oh, wow. That's great. So sorry. I've got something in my eye here.
Oh, no.
That's amazing. So does anyone want to share their I am statement here?
I'll do it.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Let's go around. Let's go, Linda.
So I am demonstrating the ability to connect to the universe and allowing it to support me.
Whoa. Awesome. Super awesome. Thank you. Amber.
Mine is, I'm a freaking rock star of work-life balance and having fun with it all.
Ooh. Awesome. So good. Cynthia.
Mine is I am the real manifestation of things.
Ooh. Oh man, I love that. Beautiful. So cool. Ashley.
I liked your graceful word because it fell right into things. So I am the calm and graceful presence of Ashley on stage.
Mm-hmm. Way cool. You guys look completely different. I just have to say, completely different. You're smiling. You're just awake. Your energy is huge. It's amazing. Very, very cool. Okay, so this is hopefully something that you'll be able to just keep sinking into, keep feeling into more, both the darker shadows, the lighter shadows. It's just shadows. Don't be afraid of your shadow. It just happens. When there's light, there's shadows. So just keep bringing everything to the light. It's the big message of today. Okay. Yeah, all right. So let's go ahead and open it up for some Q&A about anything and everything, whatever you want to talk about. It's your moment to get a little 5 to 10 minutes of coaching, and we all learn from it. We all can take something away from it. So this is your time for that, or whatever else you'd like to request.
Amanda, I hate to do this, but I have to drop out. I have a client that I have to go see.
No problem, Linda.
Had something come up, so see you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
For being here. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. This would also be a good time for any kind of like using us as a focus group, testing some client language, if we are your ideal clients, or we could be your ideal clients for a minute. So whatever you'd like to use the time for.
Well, if nobody else is just jumping in, there's one thing that spoke to me that I think is important, and maybe you could spend a little more time with the new mindset. My weakness ensures that I don't go it alone. I get other people involved. And I can see that that's actually been a problem in my thinking, is that I think that I should be able to go it alone, right? It's that, cowboy mentality, which is crazy because, I run a service-oriented business, right?
Where you don't want people going it alone. Is that what you're saying?
Right. I don't think people should have to go it alone who are not me.
Right. Just you need to go it alone. Everyone else, take people.
Right. But like that's a very limiting belief.
Mm-hmm. Very
right.
much.
That you need to be, whatever, strong enough to like go it on your own.
Right.
So can you talk about that? Like, a little bit more, the weaknesses ensuring you don't go it alone?
Sure. Yeah. Were you here for my little Superman analogy at all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Yeah. Yeah, your weaknesses ensure that you don't go it alone. Because if you are doing your business, like I said, even if you're not like at 6 figures or 7 figures or whatever, you still probably can't get everything done. You're going to have to hire out at some point. This is one way you're not going to go it alone. So you want to be really choosy about what you hire out. For me, I hire out the details, because I just don't like them. So VA is like top of my list, even before accounting. I was doing my own accounting until Justin came along. So that, for some reason, I can handle money better than details. So for me to know and prioritize my weaknesses is really, really helpful, because as soon as I generate income enough to pay this person or generate income enough to pay this person, I want to have those in order. Get the yuckiest thing off my plate first. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I think this goes for not people that I'm necessarily paying, but it's ensuring that I don't try to hold it all in energetically too, because that is so much to carry and so overwhelming. I've got to talk about it with people. I've just got to find a safe place to talk about the problems in my business, the issues, the problems I'm trying to solve, the things that aren't going as expected, and all that stuff. I just got to figure out who else can be there for me. And so this thing about like necessity is the mother of invention, like if I didn't feel that need, I wouldn't get that support. But because I'm feeling it and it's causing me pain, it's like worth crossing the barrier of being like, oh, can you just listen to me vent for a second? Or, oh, I got to talk to you about this. Or, oh, I got to unload here for a little bit. I don't like to do that. It's a real hard thing for me to do, to like just vomit out the yucky stuff and ask somebody to hold the trash can. But I have to, because I'm not a superhero. I have superpowers, but I'm not a superhero. I'm human. I'm a human superpowers. So that's a little bit more about that. What's coming up for you? How's this all hitting you, Amber? What are you dealing with over there?
Right. So, my number one, whatever, Pain is detaching and just going into mental chaos, right? So what's coming up for me is like, I'm probably always going to need something like this that's, gives some structure to what I'm doing in my business. Like, probably always.
Yeah. Huge.
Yeah. And that's just that kind of lets me off the hook in a way, right? Because, I keep setting myself up for this kind of support, structure, 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 structure. I'm like, man, shouldn't I have this by now?
Yeah.
But it's not even really that. It's just like, this is stuff I have to reach out for.
Yes.
Coming back around structure. Yeah, that topic again. Yep. Gotta look at that some more. Right. So.
Oh my God. What a freeing thought too, that you just need some structure. You need some focus.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't about like learning the content, like for the, if you do this stuff a lot, right, you're going to be going over maybe the same types of content, but it's not about that. It's about getting from the content what they need today and just having a structure and having a focus and being surrounded by other people on the journey. Oh,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Right. It's good. That lets me just, enjoy it a little bit more and not be in judgment of myself so much.
Which is your I am statement. Enjoying it more. Having fun.
Right.
Hanging out with people that are positive and on the same path and have common problems and common celebrations.
All that fun stuff.
Yay. That's so great. I can feel that, like, for me, if that was true for me, which it probably is, like, I'm like, oh, well, that would free me up to, now I can just know that as long as I'm in a class of some sort, that's going to help me. I could take a money mindset course. I could take a dress for your business course. I could take, I could just like have fun taking classes, being in college the rest of my life, quote unquote, as Ashley brought up, and just like, it's about fun and structure and focus. It's not about, I haven't learned this yet.
Well, yeah, right. And it all helps.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's fun because I'm like, Ashley, like if it had been less cost prohibitive, I could have just stayed in school forever. It was fun. I was good at it, but it's also about that balance thing, right?
Yes. Yeah. And if you're allowing it to focus you rather than distract you.
Right. Yeah, that's huge.
Huge.
Someone told me the other day that it was an older lady and her son-in-law has $1 million in debt from student loans.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I don't want, like, I wanted the school of that, but I don't want to leave that either. Like, I don't want to leave that for anyone. I don't want, like, I want to leave $1 million for them, or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be $1 million, but I want to leave money for them, not leave my debt for them. So it's, again, like how society kind of pressures us up in, and like making that mind shift too a little bit, I think. Because like after I got my bachelor's, I mean, I was like, this is great, like big accomplishment, but like I didn't feel good about it. Like I was like, awesome, I have a 4-year degree now, but like the meaning that it had for me personally after the day was over and the ceremony and my classes ended, it was like it didn't really make me feel any closer to what I wanted.
Mm-hmm. I totally get that. I mean, you could take a lot of awesome personal development classes for the same amount of money.
Oh my God.
College, right? Like, that's a lot of coaching and cool trips stuff.
Different, but it's all about like what we feel like we're built up to do, like our society and how it like, pushed you into that, and like you need to decide what you want to do, and you need to go to all these classes and blah blah blah. And so, it's kind of like all of us have that search inside of us where there's something else. I mean, not everybody doesn't have to have that, but when you do, it's like nothing else that you do fulfills that desire is still balling around in there, and you're like, what is that? So yeah.
Very cool. Cool. Anybody else needing a little breakthrough or shift, or want to use some of our group time?
I'd love to just piggyback on what Amber said. I mean, the gift of the group is so amazing, because Amber, what you shared made me go, oh yeah, because I can be very hard on myself in this business world about, man, when I was a teacher, I used to do XYZ, and like trying to compare those two worlds and like, oh, am I failing now? Because in that world I was doing X. But then I think about, like, as a teacher, I didn't do the administrative work. It's not like I was sitting at the front desk in the school building doing all that. I wasn't the principal at the same time doing all that. I wasn't the geography teacher, science, math teacher doing all that. So just reminding myself that even in that environment where your teachers are often thought of like sailors of their own ship, how much of that was stuff was delegated to other people to make the machine work. So that's just, I'm continuing to find forgiveness for myself. And I think that ties into, you have old mindset. And I love that you talked about like liability, because I still catch myself feeling the more feminine parts of me, the ways that I like move into things versus like take action now, is I feel like I'm like, oh, there's the time liability, there's a money liability, there's a social liability, or at least that's been the lens I'm looking through. I'm learning that that's not true. So I think the biggest thing is, as I've been moving into owning my own value and owning that part of my value is that what I call feminine energy, that I'm gonna like block people from seeing that unless I start talking about how I'm valuable. And it doesn't mean like standing in someone's face and going like, I'm valuable, but it's like claiming my worth as I speak to people. So I just kind of had a new clarity with that as I was filling out the worksheet. If I coach women to own their own beauty and their own worth in relationship, why would I not do the same
in business?
Why is this different?
Right. Yeah. So
kind of model that second thing from yesterday, be in a room, like be a model.
Can you say that again? I didn't hear the first part.
No, it's okay. From the paper yesterday, the second section, good in a room, the number one was be a model.
Mm-hmm.
So you modeling that, that would that's what I think that you would be like, or have had something to know, because that's why you help other people with it.
Yeah. So I think my continued growth is learning to model the value, not the things I think that are valuable, but what truly is me is valuable. And that's a really big shift sometimes.
Good. Sorry, say that again, Ashley.
And that's why you can lead people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So good. I do think you are a model. I can see it. really easily that the feminine is valuable. Like when you speak, that's what I already get. You embody the feminine. And so when you speak up, it's like, well, here, space for the feminine. We're doing it right now. And Cynthia's leading the way.
So maybe I could then just tap into each of you women being like, because it's still the thing of like, oh, in certain things like, oh, speaking, that might work well, or in connecting, that might work well. But there are other parts of business where it feels like that part of me is like scattered and too wordy and extreme and weak. And I could pigeonhole that to things like, finding the wording and simplifying things. And I still get crazy hard on that for myself, and that it's like I'm pulling apart two pieces of duct tape between being like, I should be able to do that, versus the mindset that I'm allowed to ask for help on that. And maybe even go further. I may never learn how to do that. That might not be something that's in me. And surrendering to that, and that may be something that I always need to hire out. I always need support with, kind of like what Amber was saying.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so good for me.
All of those are a possibility. You'll always need to hire out. You'll always need to get support. It doesn't mean it has to be hired, but like if that is true, I'm okay with it. Like that's okay, right? And it could look another 5 different ways. I think I've told this story before, but I just want to bring it up right now, and then I want to circle back around to another thought I had for you, Cynthia. But I have a friend who is in a wheelchair, and she can't speak. She can't walk or talk. She has cerebral palsy, and she will never say a word. She'll never write a book. She'll never coach anyone. She'll never, change the world in the ways that I'm trying to change the world, that I want to have an impact and stuff. Like she doesn't have any of the tools at her disposal that I have. And she changes the freaking world just by being her and her smile. She has a completely involuntary smile. She cannot fake smile. You have to make her laugh or make her smile. And then she just lights up, and she has this laugh that's like, ah! Like this huge laugh. And it is the coolest thing in the world. And she's sitting there changing the world without being able to walk or talk or move. She can't write. She can't read. She can't feed herself. Like she can't do so many things. And I see the inherent value of a person is not what they're doing. It's just not. That's an extra little, 2 or 5%, because it's the strengths that they were given. But most of the value is just you being you and lighting up when you light up and reacting when something makes you react. So I see that in her. I see that in you. It's just a great reminder of the beingness is just really all you need. And so I just want to bring it back down a bit more with choosing words you are saying or simplifying. What if you figured out the dance between the masculine and feminine, since I believe that is another strength of yours, where there's always space for the feminine, lots and lots of space. And it's still in partnership with the masculine of simplifying or choosing a word just to use your example. So what that might look like, and I assume there's more choices here too, is that when you get ready to choose words for something, you let your feminine sprawl and just, woo, she gets to have the dance floor all to herself. And then the masculine comes in to choose. And that could be your masculine. You could rely on the masculine of someone else, Jeff, or some other, masculine force, someone you hire. I often do this with Justin when I have like a lot of ideas for what we should do for a project or something. I'm like, you got to let me just have my like 10 ideas. And then you pick 3 and I'll pick my favorite one. Because somehow he can weed out the really crazy shit.
Yeah.
But if I don't get it out of my mouth, it's going to be back there like, oh, I should have chosen this one. I should have chosen this one.
I can relate to that and starting to, like, if I'm thinking about doing a talk, doing an outline the way like I would do it, and then going out back in and taking out like 5 pages.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of that, like, at least for now, always allotting extra time, that I'm going to need a little bit more extra time. And if that brings up an ache in my heart because that has old childhood underpinnings, that's when I go and do some of my like personal work of like, those old little kid thought patterns and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that feels really good. I mean, I can feel the dance of that, right? Like both on the floor. Like you're not giving less room to your feminine by having the masculine there too, or the container or the simplifier there. It's like, no, I want this to be a partnership dance. And I'm going to take up my full half of the dance floor here with my awesome flowy dress that's going to fly all over the place, while the masculine is more just wearing the tux and, I'm just thinking of like a ballroom dance. But I'm going to be together with this. I'm going to practice the feminine and masculine, which gives plenty of room for both.
Thank you for that. That feels a lot different than the first things I was saying, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for these questions. I think they're just really beautiful. Very relatable. Cool. Okay. Any last thoughts that need to get shared, or questions, or anything like that?
Well, I just thought it was a nice reminder that if you're able to perceive the brilliance that other people have, like there's something in you that's already alive.
Say that one more time. Something in you that is...
It's already alive to that resonates with it. You know what I mean? Like, it may be like, oh God, I wish I was more like whatever, X, Y, Z, that thing, like that's so cool. That's just such a superpower, dude. I wish I could do that X, Y amazing thing. But, it would just be completely mysterious to you if you didn't already have some resonance with the thing. You wouldn't even be able to perceive it or name it. Really.
Perfectly said. Yes, totally.
So it's a real different way of being with superpowers.
Yeah, really, really good. I like to have this visual, and I'm going to paint this one day, I decided, even though I'm not a portrait or realistic painter at all, but I have this visual of like me in a room with like a bunch of mirrors, right? And they're just surrounding me. And every mirror, I can see myself at a different angle. And I feel like that's what would happen if I was surrounded by people in the room, is that this person shows me a different angle of myself, but I'm still looking at myself. I really can't see anything that isn't resonating with me in some way. Negative or positive, but don't forget the positive, because, you know, the negative gets talked about a lot with that, but like if I can see it, it's gotta be because it's reflecting something in me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really good. I'm glad that resonated with you. It's definitely a different way to see other people's strengths.
I have to remind myself of that a lot, Amber, because I'll put people on a pedestal very easily, at least I will. And so I have to, you're reminding me, I have to remind myself to like see that and go, the only way I hold this with so much reverence is because I know it, and it's just a mirror reflection of me. Gosh, darn it.
And there's probably someone in the world that's looking at you and seeing that in you. Ashley, you have a chat here. When is what date of what?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, was that to somebody else?
Yes, and I thought I didn't know it went to everybody. Cynthia was asking about a retreat.
Oh, gotcha. Cool.
Oh, I real quick, I was just gonna say my kids are starting to get a little crazy, but not money. I think one of the hardest things is like to take off the lens and like see what it is and to like name it. Like, so when I'm trying like that internal clarity part, I don't know why it's so hard, like personally when I'm sitting here, that's like when I really see that I need the needs of others. Like I can't say it myself. Why can't I say myself like I am great at, like it's just, it might be my personality, like it might be different things about me that I just, when I'm sitting here alone, I've never been like a needy person. Like I don't lean a lot on people. Like I can figure it out. But when I have to put the attention on myself by myself, it's a really hard task. So I feel like in those moments, like when I am brainstorming, like I need that other person who knows me and who can say, you are, and then it's like, oh, okay, I am that. Yeah.
Awesome. And are you cool with asking for that if you recognize that you need that in the moment? Calling someone and saying, can you just do this for me?
Yes, because you, like a month ago or when the last time we talked, we really talked about expressing Ashley's needs. So I actually put it into place because with my inventory issue at convention, a mentor guy had told me that I need to do a swap every week. And so then it made me think, oh, this is a need. I need to talk in that language.
Nice.
To say, I don't just want to like throw it out there. Who wants to swap? Like, and just leave it. Like, no, I need this. So I posted it with that intention. Like,
nice.
Live in Windsor, comment here. And I text every one of those people and was like, I need to swap. And I am looking for one of these dates. Like,
nice.
And I filled up 5 for the next 5 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow.
So really good. And like good timing with you having that conversation about me with telling people what I need.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it works with my husband and my kids and
Yes.
stuff.
Asking for what you need is so great.
Yeah, but
Ladies, well, you just
definitely support,
sorry, go ahead.
we definitely need the support of each other. We need people.
Yes.
And I do love your phrase, I have superpowers, but I'm not a superhero. Because my husband think that too. Oh, you're a superwoman. I'm like, don't. Quit calling me that. I'm failing at half of this crap. Like, you can't tell me that. This is mixed message. This is effing with my brain right now.
That was a huge, yeah.
Superpower at this, but I'm not a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
So I need help over here.
I'm one of those, heroes that I'm human. I just do a couple things really, really great.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it, I'm human. And I need everything that humans need. Like care and love and forgiveness and gentleness and fun and joy.
All right. Well, my little beast is up.
All right.
Fight the trauma out there. So
have a great Monday. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.